Night. Night had fallen on Ekana and clung about the rooftops and bristling antennae that crowned the old refinery like a tangible thing. No light of moon was there, and the stars kept silent vigil, distant and cold as the grey sands that flatly stretched to the horizon all around. "The Pale won't know what hit them," Krim said, whispering despite the relative safety of the ship around us. I sensed the anticipation in the man, sensed it in all the men about me, the soldiers huddled like the Achaeans in the bowels of their wooden horse. Every one of them seemed to be holding his breath. "They better not," groused Polino. "The fleet's still 3 hours behind." "Heat sinks are holding, my lord," said the pilot officer, reassuring. "Only way they'll see us coming is if they sight us out a window." I knew the pilot was right. The Ascalon was the fastest ship in our fleet, a Chalice-class interceptor whose massive heat sinks made it possible to mask its sublight emissions for days, thus making it invisible to heat and light detection and perfect for such stealth missions as ours. It was a small ship, a mere 500 feet from end to end, its hydroponics and life support systems designed to support an active crew of perhaps 10 men, and fugue creches to sustain another 40. A small complement, but enough, I prayed, for our task. As you may have gleaned from the title of this video and from that intro, Book 4 of the Sun Eaters series, Kingdoms of Death, is done at last. Welcome, everyone. My name is Christopher Ruocchio. I am the author of the Sun Eaters science fantasy series from Daw Books and the junior editor at Bane Books, where I've worked with sci-fi and fantasy writers for the last 6 years, and it really is over. The first draft, at least, is over. Book 4, Kingdoms of Death, has taken a lot more work than the others did. I think it's taken about 300 days, about 60 of which I wasn't able to work at all, which is by far the most days I've missed working on any project. 2020 was a weird year for Earth and for humanity generally, but it was a weird year for me. I've alluded to, some personal trouble, some medical issues in the family, things like that really slowed down production. Everyone is okay right now. Everything is okay right now. More than okay, because the book is done at long last. I am no longer looking down the barrel of a couple thousand words. Every single day when I wake up, I'm able to take a step back and take stock of what it is that I need to do next. I did go ahead and deliver the manuscript to my publisher, to Daw Books, and I'm expecting revision notes on that in a couple months. But a couple months is a long time, and I am not going to just sit around celebrating by playing Civilization 6. As much fun as that would be, I am instead going to jump right into work on a couple short projects that I have in the works, and to which I have alluded before. The first of these is a novelette, a short story, really, just 3 chapters, a piece called The Pits of Emesh. The Pits of Emesh goes back and revisits Hadrian's gladiator days from Empire of Silence, so it's going to be sort of a lost chapters deal. From that, I've talked about it a couple times here on the channel. I'm going to spend the next couple days getting sort of a very broad synopsis of that story together, making sure everything's copacetic. And then this weekend, assuming all goes according to plan, I'll be doing a live stream here on the channel. I know I missed the Q&A in February. Sorry about that. It was a really rough time getting everything I needed to get done. And so I'm going to be doing this live stream where I'm going to be actually working on the outline on screen, maybe just the first chapter or 2. As I say, it's 3 chapters. I don't want to spoil the end, but this is a part of Hadrian's life we've already seen, and I've had a lot of folks asking what my outlining process looks like. Do I have any writing advice? And I do not consider myself a teacher, so I thought it would be maybe most instructive if I showed you how I do it, actually give you an example on the screen, not just of what the finished outline looks like in detail, but how I put it together. Maybe it'll be devastatingly boring. I don't know. Maybe it'll be educational. So if any of you are trying to be writers yourself and you think that that might be of use to you, keep your eyes out. I will be doing that, I think, Friday evening at 8 p.m. Is my current plan. If it's not going to be Friday evening at 8, it will probably be Saturday. It may be Monday, but keep your eyes peeled here on the channel. That's coming up really soon, which means that the next week will be me writing that story. It's just 3 chapters. It's about 10,000 words. That should only take about a week to do. Might be a little bit longer. I tend to go more slowly with short fiction pieces for whatever reason. I guess because the finish line is a lot closer, I don't feel the need to sprint, which is exactly the opposite of how it works in actual foot races, as I understand it. Not that I have ever participated in a foot race, but once that is done, I will be turning my attention to a novella. Right now I'm calling it The Red Company. I don't believe that title will stick. This novella is for Sword and Planet, which you've seen the cover for here on the channel. I've talked about. It's an anthology of science fantasy Sword and Planet stories that's going to be coming out in December of this year. This novella is the story of Hadrian's first journey, first mission as an Imperial Knight. It's set immediately after Howling Dark, and it takes him right back into the belly of the beast, into a battle against the Cielsen. Very much looking forward to writing that one. Sort of grew out of some mentions in Kingdoms of Death, and I want to go back and retell this little side story. And of course, it comes out before Book 4 does. So for those of you who are a little disheartened by the delay in the release of the next book, for which I apologize, you'll be able to get some Sun Eater action, some Hadrian action before March of next year. Which, brief side note, we are officially under the 1-year mark from the release of Kingdoms of Death, which will be out on March 1st of next year, 2022. So as a fun note, I finished it exactly a year before its release, which is sort of poetic, which happens also to be mine and Jenna's wedding anniversary. And I didn't realize when we moved the date that we were moving the release to our anniversary, which is really cool. As I'm working on this novella, I will be putting together my first short story ebook collection, Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 1. This is going to be 7 Sun Eater universe stories that will be available as an ebook either at the end of March, as in this March, this month, or next month in April. I'm still waiting on the cover art to come back from an artist named Nathan Anderson. Should have that really, really soon. And once we've got that, and once I get Pits of Emesh written, we can finally put that all together, and I'll get it out to you guys. Really, really looking forward to sharing that with everybody. I know folks have been asking after it. There is not going to be a print edition as yet. This is just 7 stories, so it's 150 pages. It's not very long. I am going to do a few volumes that are ebook only collections. Just put them up for a couple bucks. If you want to get those now, you can. Down the road, I'll be putting all the Sun Eater short fiction together into one volume. We're talking years down the road because I've still got plenty of short stories to write. When that happens, there'll be a print version, there'll be an ebook version, and maybe that's when there'll be an audio version. So for now, these stories will only be available in this sort of ebook collection. I'm also hoping, now that I don't have the deadline for the manuscript looming over my shoulder, to be doing more here on the channel. We'll be right back to where we were with the monthly Q&As. There'll be some more content here. I've got some other videos I want to produce, things I want to get into, and I may even be doing a couple more live streams. As I said, I'm going to be doing that writing workshop one. And before I go, I wanted to thank everybody for buying the books, as usual, for leaving reviews. If you haven't left a review, please kindly do. Every review we get, especially on Amazon, helps recirculate those books through their algorithms. We get more copies sold, get more emails sent to people saying, hey, you might like this book, and I can't do it without you. Thank you also for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, please do. And a very special thanks to everybody who's supporting me on Patreon. Very grateful to each and every one of you. If you haven't, a link to all of these things will be in the description. Thank you all, everybody, and until next time, stay well.